My brothers and sisters in Christ, in today's gospel, Jesus offers the parable of the sower, which speaks of different outcomes, the same seed being sown, but different outcomes or different fruitfulness based on the disposition of the soil receiving the seed. And of course, in this parable, each of these images of ground, whether fertile ground, rocky ground, thorny ground, hard ground, whatever it may be, of course, are metaphorical for different conditions of the human heart, the receptivity we have to allow the seed that God sows to take root and grow and bear fruit. Towards this end, as we continue our reflection on the book of Exodus and the first readings, we took a pause yesterday with the feast of St. Mary Magdalene. But on Monday, the people of Israel, after the plagues and the great showing of God's power in Egypt, they're on the move, and they've come to the banks of the Red Sea, and now they're being pursued. And again, they begin to cry out. They forget what God has already done and said, oh, we should have never left. Now we're done for. And God says, kind of, stand back, watch this, you're going to see my power. So yesterday, if not for the feast day, we would have heard the actual accounting of the crossing through the Red Sea. And in that account, not only does God deliver his people through this incredible display of power to split the sea, lead them through, and then to close the sea to destroy their enemies, but they're left, and the responsorial psalm actually comes from Exodus 15, which is an entire song, the song of Miriam on this display of God's power that he has delivered his people. So that's what we would have heard yesterday. And today it picks up immediately after these events of the Red Sea. Now the people are in the desert. God has delivered them through mighty power, and they're already complaining again. Now they're hungry. But not just are they in need, but they immediately begin to whine again of, oh, why did we ever leave Egypt? Oh, why? We're going to die. They immediately forget all that God has done for them and begin to question again his providence. On Monday, I shared in my reflection of how often our questioning of God is actually a petulance of heart or a pridefulness, and that we want to be God. We don't like the fact that we're dependent on him. We would rather be God than the creature. But instead, humility of heart requires us to know that he is God. We are the creature, and God provides for us constantly. If we have the disposition of heart in this humility to receive the good things that God provides, we can bear abundant fruit. We can be the fertile soil that receives his good gifts and flourishes. But if, like the people of Israel immediately after this, they immediately begin to grumble and hunger, this immediate onset of spiritual amnesia, then there is a constant hardness of heart to reject what God has to offer. And so in the first reading, we hear the first testing. It's both a marvelous gift and a test, as he provides manna from on high, bread from heaven, miraculous food to provide for his people's needs. But he provides in a way that tests them. I'll provide your daily bread. Each day I will provide new. So you will go forth and only take that which you need for the day. Don't try to hoard and build up a supply of manna to carry out many days, but take what you need for the day and trust that tomorrow I will provide the same. God provides for every need, but he also asks of his people trust. And they grumble, and they will continue to grumble at every turn. It's a story not only of the rest of the book of Exodus, but in fact the story of salvation history, that God's people, no matter what he provides, we grumble. And so, it is important that we turn again in humility of heart to reject any pride in us that seeks to have control. Instead, we are called to realize that God never ceases the sowing. He constantly pours out his grace upon us, every good gift, every provision that we need. And if instead of trying to fight to take control, we instead have receptivity of heart, then these good gifts, these graces can take hold and flourish and bear abundant fruit in our lives. But as long as our hearts continue to be hardened, as we close off, resist, forget, reject, then we cannot be surprised when God's seed finds no roots, nowhere to flourish, and we remain hardened and bitter. May God bless you all.